In this lesson, we're going to show you how to identify and enter a breakout trade. First, we'll take a look at a breakout long. Now, the breakout is a great trade that occurs whenever the price is heading into the high of the day or the low of the day for a short. It's very useful as we don't always have entry points at turn bars. They aren't always qualified. And sometimes we just miss our entries. We may be looking at another chart, or the market may have moved too fast and our order didn't get filled. Whatever the reason, the breakout trade is a great opportunity to hop back in on the run once the trade is going to move past the high of the day. Here we had a qualified continuation, and for this example, we'll assume that we missed this entry for whatever the reason. Now, the high of the day isn't too far, and what we really need to look for is our purple line being outside of its neutral zone in the appropriate direction. So for this breakout long, we're looking for the purple line to be at plus 50 or above. And next, we need to see our price bars moving into the high of the day, and it has to be within 10 bars from the most recent turn bar, which for this example will be this bar right here. Now, my purple line is still in the neutral zone, but if the market continues trending long, it could very well get outside of its neutral zone by the time the market is close to the high of the day. So now I want to take note of what price the high of the day is at. It's at 1354.6. So my entry will always be one tick above the current high of the day. And as we can see, as the price continues to trend along, my purple line is almost out of its neutral zone. So likely by the close of this bar, our purple line will be qualified. So I want to be prepared to put in my entry at 1354.7, one tick above the high of the day. Come over to my ladder, put in a buy order, make sure I'm using a stop at or above order type, and click submit order. Now I am in ahead of time, but we enter at one tick above the high of the day in case there is some resistance at the high and the market bounces off at exactly the price of the high of the day. We want to wait for it to break past the high, as that gives us better odds of hitting our profit target. And after the close of bar 7, I see that my purple line is now outside of its neutral zone. We are within 10 bars from the most recent turn bar. Bar 8 will be the bar that breaks through the high of the day. And when it does, our order will be filled. And now our order has been filled, and we simply need to wait to hit our profit target. Now, some notes about the breakout. Now, we say that we can only enter up to bar 10 from the most recent turn bar. So this bar that is currently forming will be bar 10. Now, does that mean that we can enter using the DPI of this bar? No, we can enter on the bar that breaks through the high of the day. We're looking for that initial breakout point, and our entry price will always be one tick above that high of the day. Now, if the market reverses later and then comes back up and hits the new high, we can attempt to break out there if it is qualified. But we don't want to enter later than one tick above the high of the day, as that is our exact entry price indicated by the rule. Next, let's take a look at a breakout short. Now let's take a look at a breakout short. Here's an excellent example of how the breakout can allow us to get in on runs that we couldn't enter at our normal entry points. Here we have a single T short that does qualify on the first color bar, but we are a bit too close to the 200. So that trade will be a bit too risky to enter. And we have our qualified momentum here, but for argument's sake, we'll say it's too close to the 200. We want to make sure we're going to move clear past the 200 before we enter a trade. Well, we're fairly close to the low of the day, and it looks like we'll hit the low of the day before we get to our 10th bar. So for our breakout short, we see that our purple line is fairly close and is now at minus 50, which is where we want it to be. And we're moving past the low of the day here. We see that bar 8 is right up against the low of the day, and bar 9 here will move past the low of the day, and we'll be in within our 10 bar limit for entering this trade. I see my low is at 20,892, so I'm going to come over and put a sell order in my dome here. And now I just have to wait for the market to push through the low, which it does. And now we're just waiting to see if we carry that momentum and hit our profit target, which will be 8 ticks past the low of the day. And now we see that our breakout short has pushed through, hit our profit target, and now we'd be trailing this trade. Thank you for joining us, and now you're ready to add the breakout to your trading arsenal.